And now, our feature presentation.
Your little bussy belongs to me now.
Happy Father's Day, the day we all celebrate when your dad nutted in your mom. How high do you think you could throw a baby? Father's Day, the day your mother decided to show mercy on you and not swallow.
Hello, welcome to another episode of It Sure Is a Podcast. We're approaching the Day of Fathers, which you noticed in our beginning section. A lot of jokes on that.
I mean, we gave you all the info you need to know about Father's Day.
Yeah, it's Day of Fathers. I don't know what else to tell you. Yeah, moving on to just absolute other things, because today's episode is a little wonky. Only because we do have two big things we're going to spend most of the episode talking about, but at the same time, we wanted to start off with that Starfield gameplay, because after we recorded last week,
Like an hour after we recorded, they released that gameplay footage.
Exactly. And it looks just a lot like No Man's Skyrim. That's what a lot of people say, but it reminds me of Destiny 1 a little bit. I like the design of stuff. It's just, and also the conversation system, what they showed, it looks a lot like Outer Worlds. It looks like an amalgamation of a lot of things that already came out.
Sorry, it's gonna be one of those episodes.
Oh, that's fine. I got a LaCroix here ready to, well, it's LaCroix.
It's off-brand.
Off-brand LaCroix, but yeah, we're gonna be blasting out some. What were you gonna say?
I was really getting like Fallout vibes, but like with the Skyrim kind of overtones. If that makes any sense. I mean, it, like we were talking a little bit, it doesn't look bad, but I don't know if it's gonna be like this be all end all, like blow you away game. Now it's Bethesda; they're trying to break new ground, so I mean, we'll see what it has to offer.
They do let you build your own spaceship.
I mean, that is pretty cool.
I thought that was pretty cool.
They're really good at the the replay value games like Skyrim, Fallout. Obviously, those are their big ones. So I'm curious to see if the gameplay is like enticing. Dang, put mine to shame. Would you redline it?
I redlined it, and I froze my computer for a moment. It stopped everything, and all the recording software just stopped.
Computer just had a brain fart from that.
It was like, whoa, what was that? What was that? I gotta file this and compute it. What the hell was that? Before I interrupt, you said that replay value and.
Well, I'm curious to see how Bethesda does. I mean, we already have No Man's Sky. There's Elite Dangerous has been around for like 20 years.
I know a lot of people play that. I have no idea what it's about, but a lot of people are like very loyal to that.
Elite Dangerous?
Yeah.
That game is crazy. I played it for a little bit and I think it's beyond me. Like, it's super involved. And it's just because I played it and I'm like, well, what's the point? And they're like, existence. It's basically a space life simulator. You're always in your ship. I think they added some stuff where you can go down onto planets now and drive around in vehicles, but you can be a pirate, you can just kill people and take their stuff, you can mine, you can sell stuff. But the controls are so
complicated,
intricate, and yeah, you have to do the landing sequence. The actual like long distance space travel, you have to like aim it, you have to it's a lot of fun. You have to dedicate a lot of time to it, and my ADD will not allow me to focus on it for that long. I went back and tried to play it, forgot how to play it, and crashed my ship. I was like, I don't know what to do.
That sounds about right. Whenever you don't play a game for a while and you come back and you're like, what? How do I?
Well, there's games like Skyrim and stuff you can pick back up pretty quickly, but this is like if you don't do the proper landing sequence, you crash.
Yeah,
you can't. No Man's Sky is at least. I feel like that's Elite Dangerous, but for dummies.
Yeah, yes.
But that's why I love it. So.
Yeah, we need games more for dummies. Also another thing I noticed in Starfield was weapons. If it's just weapon gameplay, because I know all the other Skyrim, Fallout, you could do weapons or melee. Skyrim, you could do, I mean, a variety of, fantasy medieval weapons.
Yeah,
You could also punch.
one-handed, two-handed. There was a little bit of an element of hand-to-hand, not like Oblivion, but they had that magic, archery.
Yeah,
They
I forgot the
added
magic. And
they
will there
added
be
the
space
crossbow.
magic, I wonder?
I'm
In like
wondering if they're gonna do
Starfield,
like
like
the
some
Mass Effect route, like the
biotics,
biotics. Like they'll try
yeah.
to make it sciencey and like physics based, but at the same time, it's borderline magic.
Yeah, I feel like gameplay style, there has to be a variety there for it to succeed and, surpass people's expectations.
First off, this is a futuristic game. I want a damn lightsaber.
I don't know why other games don't do the equivalent of a lightsaber. Did you see that some engineer actually made a real working one? Like legit, it just doesn't keep going. It just comes straight out and stops, and it's just like a beam. The thing is,
Take
it's
my money. Where? I want
the thing
one.
is, it's connected. Like when the guy made it, it's connected. There's like these huge hoses coming off of
I
it, and like
don't
massive
care.
batteries behind him. And he's
I
like, "I made a working lightsaber, everybody."
did he like cut something with it?
That I don't think so. I think he just pulled out the beam, and that was it.
Oh.
But
I was hoping he like killed his cat with it or something on accident.
look at this.
Well, yeah, no, he's like, guys, see, I made it working.
Like
Oh no.
cleanly
Oh
in
no.
half.
Yeah. Just muffins? Muffins?
People would purchase that and they would use it for all the wrong reasons. They would use it to
Immediately, if I bought it, I would be going outside and I would be cutting down a tree with it.
that's what I'm saying. Cutting down trees.
Immediately. I don't care if it fell and broke my fence. My fence is crap, anyways. I'm probably gonna have to pay out the ass for a new one, but I would immediately go outside and cut something down with it.
Or someone would just take like a big chunk of meat and just slice it without cooking it because like it would cook it while it's sliced. You know what I mean? It, yeah, it's people would use it for the not wrong reasons, but not the reasons that people would usually think.
Well, yeah, we're not Jedi. We're gonna go out and have fun with it.
Yeah, we're not defenders of peace. We're gonna
Yeah, they
sit
weren't
here.
either. Star Wars was nothing more than a political statement about how power corrupts and how anybody who gets power without oversight become evil. The Jedi were evil in the end.
They were just like the blue light side evil, and then the dark side.
They were arrogant buttholes.
I always thought it'd be interesting if someone made I don't know, a movie or a short of like a perspective from the Sith side, and everyone be like, "Why do you turn bad?
Pretty
Why did you
sure
worship?"
I'm pretty sure there are books and stuff out there about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe not mainstream like it is now, but
I was just thinking, have a narrative like that where it's about the Sith and the Sith trains the apprentice and they're like, "Why'd you turn to Sith?" Because and the guy was just like, "I just wanted the power to protect those who I love," and like that
some
was the
people just
whole
want
reason,
power for power.
right? But this character just wanted power just to protect those he loved because he lost people in the past, and he knew like, yo, the
It's
dark side, they got so much better powers, dude.
They really do. They're way cooler. But also, I mean, if you think about it, if you are master of the galaxy and you're in charge of everything, I mean, you're making people's lives bad, so that's why you're still evil. But that's always been people. If I'm in charge, I can make everything good. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. But
Certainly,
the Republic Commando, you know the game.
yeah,
They did. I think I've talked about it on the podcast, but they did a book series, but it's from the Clone Wars, like the clones' perspectives.
right, right.
So, and in their eyes, it's them kind of realizing that, hey, we were bred to die, and the Jedi are kind of douchebags because they're defenders of the galaxy, but they're not defending us. They're actually sending us to die.
That was so funny because it was like the clone army and then the droid army, and it was the same thing, but the droid army, there was like no soul there. And they're like, "Oh, if we're gonna make an army, we're gonna clone them and all have souls." And these people like, "We're
Well,
people too, man. You just send us to
and
die."
that's a whole big thing is like the clones were just better soldiers because they were organic. They could think, they're adaptable, you can train them more. Whereas droids are just they're software.
Yeah,
They can only operate inside the parameters of what they did, and that's why even though they were outnumbered like 1,000 to 1, that's why the clones were still able to like hold them off and hold their ground for so long.
yeah.
They were also created for the sole purpose of killing the Jedi because they were Mandalorian. They were cloned from Mandalorians
Right,
and
that's right.
trained,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and so that was the whole point was that initial army was trained just to spread the Jedi out over the war and then kill them all. That was it. After that, that's why in like the not newer, episodes 4, 5, and 6, the original Star Wars,
Yeah.
all the clones suck and can't hit anything, and everybody always made the meme about that. It's because they weren't trained as well. They were the bulk quantity. They weren't the elites. They were just a peacekeeping force,
Right. And
basically.
once, all the Jedi are dead, they don't need to have they just need to have the
Yeah,
presence. They
because
don't
all
need to
you
be
have
trained.
is you can clone 10 million people, send them to fight on a planet, and they all die. It doesn't matter. You got 10 million more to take their place.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we got on this topic, but political view of everything. Yeah, Star Wars got way too political. So
Especially in the TV show Clone Wars, which the episodes that suck were those, and then everything else in the show was
not even the
awesome.
politics of it, like the meaning behind it all.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going with that.
Everybody looked at it, and then everybody like the I love the Clone Wars, the movie. Bad acting, horrible acting, crazy cool graphics, loved it. And then everybody was like, "You're sending clones to die." I'm like, "It's fiction. It's fiction. Just enjoy the cool laser battles.
Just enjoy the
Why
fiction.
do you have to destroy everything about my youthful innocence?"
And I think that's a perspective I'm going to steal and take for Starfield or games like that. I'm just
Thank you
like,
for bringing it back to
I'm
Starfield.
just gonna have fun with it, but it just does look like a mixture of Outer Worlds, which Outer Worlds is great if no one had the chance to play it or whatever, like go play it. It's great. A little bit of No Man's Sky, and then a little bit of Destiny 1. It looks
I mean,
like amalgamation of that.
well, that's what I was. It's space exploration games. I mean, you can only probably do so much in that realm
Right.
of like Elite Dangerous did. There's no getting out of your vehicles. There's none. Uh, unless I haven't played it in a while, so maybe I'm wrong on that. But they went the hardcore controller spaceship. That's their niche. The exploration. No Man's Sky, you got to do everything. Now all the controls were,
They
I
were
want to say,
simplified and
simplified. I was gonna say dumbed down, but I like simplified better.
yeah, simplified. And with games like that, with any game, you can be a master of one thing or you can be a jack of many trades, master of none. And I just feel, and I mean, that's what like all the Bethesda games are. There are so many options. None of the
Mhm.
mechanics are really that in depth or like,
But that's what I'm worried about is like because Bethesda's kind of going bland in that their gameplay is not like Fallout 3 and Oblivion. Those were the two that came out around the same time. Vastly different games, like
yeah,
hugely different. Fallout 4 and Skyrim, same game. One had guns, one had swords.
yeah.
Almost to the T. Same graphics, same I mean, they're small minor changes, but overall it was the same, and that's what I'm worried. So like Fallout 5, No Man's Sky, and Elder Scrolls 6,
You mean Starfield?
or yeah, that's whatever I
I like how
said.
you already like are comparing it to because that's what everyone is like. Oh, it's No Man's Skyrim. That's what they're calling it. It's like,
Well,
oh, No Man's
I'm
Skyrim.
saying the next round of Fallout 5, Starfield, and Elder Scrolls 6. I'm wondering if they're all going to be the same game, but one's post-apocalyptic future, one's medieval times, and then one's in space.
Probably. It's
But
easier
that's
to
gonna
pump them
suck.
out.
That's gonna if you're taking this long to do games, you damn well better put a spin on it. They
Mm-hmm.
will go down so fast. Or maybe everybody's prayers will be answered and Todd Howard will be kicked out. But
Maybe.
if it's just the same game and over, it's why there's too many other options. It won't work.
Exactly, and that's what I was saying. That it just looks like an amalgamation of games that already came out. So, like, if you're not happy with that, there's other games that came out that will satisfy that
The only thing
need.
I'm hoping for is he was like, "This is our most uh what was it? The character creation's the most in-depth we've ever made." And they're like, "You can do all this stuff." I'm like, "I better be able to like adjust the junk size like you can in Cyberpunk."
Yeah, I
It,
always like to go with the penis 2 option.
I don't know.
That's my favorite option in Cyberpunk penis 2.
I won't lie, if it's in space, I'm gonna be like, "I need travel size. Give me a micro penis."
Micro
Everybody
penis.
else is gonna be walking around with a third leg, and my dude's gonna be like, "Nah, nah."
Yeah, I can maneuver faster though. I don't have to worry about that thing getting stuck.
The drag on my jetpack is so much less, which is such a small penis.
Justifying micro penis.
You guys can't even use both heads at the same time, can you?
Me, I can have a stark erection and you never know.
You guys ever get a boner inside these spacesuits? It's terrible.
Nah, oh my god. So let's move on to literally anything else other than Bethesda, because then we'll have a repeat of last episode. I saw this article. It's been floating around of this a thing that happened recently, and I looked at that. I'm like, podcast material. Not even, oh, this is sad for this poor woman. No, it's terrible that this happened. No, okay, it's podcast material. So
Everybody else's suffering is our gain.
pretty much,
Our suffering is our gain.
our suffering is our gain, and also your gain. So before I start, I'm gonna preface this with just a statement. I don't. How do I put this? We are not making fun that this has happened. It is not one of those things where like, oh, the person deserved it. But we are just exploring all the different thoughts and all the different avenues involved with this story.
I
Okay.
want to preface this with that's Brandon's thought. Depending on what this story is, because I have no idea what this is, I might totally be making fun of this individual
It's
with
it's
no
not
regard to their
it's not
feelings.
one of those like stupid
Did somebody die?
things. Yes, someone died, but it wasn't let me read
Let's
you.
go over the story and then I
Yes,
might
yes.
double
Then
down on my statement.
yes, okay. Then you'll double down. All right, so I'm going to just read you the title. There's a few different versions of the article. This is just the one I like. It's more concise. The wild story of how a vengeful elephant killed a woman and returned to trample her dead body at her funeral. So,
90% chance I'm gonna double down on my previous statement.
all right, okay, here we go. There are some stories that are just so wild and crazy that it's hard to believe it's true. Well, a case in point in the curious case of an elephant that had an axe to grind against a 70-year-old woman in the I'm going to try to pronounce this. It's like Mayurbhanj district in Odisha, which is located in India. So it's in India, okay? The story went viral after it. The story went viral after it was reported that the elephant not only trampled the woman, but came back to her village to wreak havoc, destroy buildings, and seek out the woman's dead body, only to wreck her corpse some more.
I want to know the backstory.
So all right, as the story goes, the News 18 reported that Maya Murmu, and like I said, I hope I'm saying that correctly, was busy collecting water in her village when an elephant on a rampage came from the Dalma Wildlife Sanctuary and attacked her relentlessly. But the story didn't end after Murmu's death. After she succumbed to the injuries from the vicious attack, she was just trampled to death,
Damn
pretty
it.
much.
Why you gotta ruin my good times? I was really hoping she was like a poacher and this was like
Well,
Superman elephant.
let me finish this. Let me finish this. So, police station inspector told the news agency that the elephant not only trampled the woman on end, but later returned to her village during her funeral, located her body, and continued to trample her corpse some more. Then the angry elephant, along with a herd of others, tore through the village and destroyed everything in its path. Family members reported were terrified, and some even climbed trees to get out of the elephant's warpath. An elephant was rescued from a pit near the village late Saturday. A group of elephants created a panic among the villagers who started running, seeing the elephants, during which one of the elephants fell into the pit. And I'm not necessarily sure why that has been added to the end of this narrative. But pretty much that's the antithesis. That's everything summarized and wrapped up. Here's my thing. Elephants are known to be calm, docile, very intelligent animals with wonderful memories. And I'm just sitting there thinking, there's a few ways we can look at this. Elephants don't attack unless they are provoked or you get into the line of it and its child, like in between, kind of like bears do, right? If you're in
Yeah,
between a
yeah.
grizzly bear and its cub, you better get out because that bear's gonna be like, "Oh, you're in between us. You're trying to hurt my cub. I'm gonna kill you." With elephants with memories so good, right? There's two ways to look at this. Did she do something as a child to an elephant that this elephant held this grudge and then when the time came, murdered this woman? Or is there something we don't know about this woman and her being such a vile individual that
That's what I'm like.
the elephant dispensed elephant justice
I
upon
don't
her?
think elephants. I really don't think they kill people. I mean, like, there's like circus elephants who get mistreated who go
Right,
crazy,
and the only
but
times
that's
they'll
understandable.
right, and the only times they'll attack people is if they're provoked. Like if you walk up and shoot one in the knee with a gun, it's going to attack you. Or
Hmm.
if you get in between, but the story is just like she's just like
Yeah, she's
filling
just
up
an old
her
lady
water
getting
jug,
water.
and an elephant just comes storming out of nowhere, and she's like, "Oh, an elephant!" And then it's just like
Hulk smash.
all the cartoon sound effects of getting punched, and this lady just gets trained. Like I feel like there's something more there that is not being explored.
Okay, until we find out what that is, I will retract my statement of I think it's funny. However,
I mean,
I
it's
think the possibilities behind all this are funny.
that is what I'm saying. I'm not saying like, haha, a person died. I'm just like looking at the possibilities and all the different perspectives. Something else is going on here, and this elephant knew about it.
What if it had like rabies or something and it was actually just like literally going insane?
Oh, that would be terrifying. Like, imagine like zombie elephant.
That's kind of, yeah, just like insane. It's just like something's moving. I have to trample it.
Dude, that's scary. Like zombies, like people zombies. That's scary, but you can maneuver that. If a zombie elephant, it's hungry and wants flesh, you're not getting away from that.
Can they run fast?
I mean, not really, but also with their size, and it's kind of like the locomotion thing, almost like a rhino. Once they start going, they're going. You wouldn't be able to outrun it.
Dude, zombie rhino.
I know there was a level in Resident Evil Outbreak, I think it was, the online version of Resident Evil, like you only played online with people. There was a zoo section, and they were all zombie animals, and like there were zombie elephants, zombie tigers. That'd be scary.
Trapped in a zoo. You're
Trapped in a zoo with
just
zombie
like, damn it,
animals.
no.
Because yeah, if you have an elephant, like maybe like as a child, this girl like I don't know walked by an elephant, was like ah, and slaps it,
Maybe she
and the
should
elephant
shove
just
the
turns around and was like, "Small child,
enjoy your life, for one day it will be mine, child.
I will take it from you when you are at your peak.
What if she got bullied as a kid, so she found a baby elephant one day and like shoved a broomstick up its asshole, and then that elephant was just like,
I will remember this."
yeah, like, I can't kill you now because you're a child, but one day, one
I don't think
day.
an elephant would discriminate that. Like if its broomstick went up its butt, it would just kill it regardless of what it
I
was.
know. I just, yeah, I don't know. Now I'm honestly curious. I wonder if
I'm
it's
more
just like a.
curious than anything.
I'm more curious if they ever find the elephant and like
Well,
study it, look at it.
that isn't in any of the articles I found. That is not really discussed.
Because I feel like if elephants are gonna just randomly go crazy and start attack, not that there's many of them left. People are jerks, and we've killed all of them. But
And it came from an animal sanctuary, so I think their first thing is to just like shoot a trank dart in it and get it back and figure out what the heck went on. Just because,
well, that's what I'm curious if they know which one it was, and if they are like studying it to see why. Like if there was a physiological reason,
yeah,
maybe. Like
something
is
like
there
that.
something going on in the elephant's brain? Like is there a disease, or was it attacked before and it was just like first human it saw, now it's trying to do it, or was it elephant justice? I don't
Elephant
know.
justice. That's what I'm thinking. Did this elephant hang on to a vendetta for something? Like I said, her as a child, just like slapping the elephant, and not even like being mean. Just like whenever you
Yeah,
like
just like a little kid who wanted to try to pet an elephant and like accidentally smacked it too hard.
exactly, or even like when you're petting your dog. And my dog will do the thing where it goes in between your legs and puts her butt right in between your legs and like her front end sticking out your back, so she just wants to scratch her butt, and I'll scratch her butt, and I'll be like I'll slap it once or twice. Like, is that something? She was petting it, just petting it, and then just a little pat, 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 and the elephant's like, "Your days are numbered, child."
No one does butt play on me.
Unless it's my wife and or husband. I haven't decided my sexuality yet.
I am the alpha of this tribe. I am whatever I decide to be.
I am not a god. I am not a demon. I am horny.
I just want to bone.
And I will kill you.
Me too, elephant. Me too.
And maybe, I don't know how, because elephants are a lot more intelligent than anyone gives them credit for. Wonder if, like, maybe someone she knew, or maybe that was the mother of a poacher.
That's what
the elephant is, like, going through the phone book and has, like, a cork board on the side of, like, a cliffside where it's been putting together pieces, like, I found the poacher's mother.
I followed your lineage for generations.
The thing is just, like, it came to the funeral to kill. It went out of its way after the trample, like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. And the
That's
elephant
why
ran
I really
off.
thought it was going to be like a funny story of like a poacher like shot it, it killed it, and it was still so mad it went back to like kill the poacher. But I don't know. I hope some more details come out about this story.
Yeah,
I really want to know what
because
happened.
the elephant brought all its elephant
Oh,
brothers.
but that's even better. He got a posse together.
And he's like, we're gonna fuck some shit up. Let's go, brothers.
This straw village doesn't stand a chance. Burn it to the ground.
And pretty much. And the thing was, the elephant sought out the woman who was dead, and they were having
Is there
a funeral.
any footage of this?
There is. It's rather graphic. I have seen a bit of it.
We're Googling this. We're gonna do a.
You can Google, like, the body is flung, the body is grabbed, and, like, almost
while
like,
it's dead.
Yeah.
There's gotta be something else going on.
The funeral
Elephants
bit was caught on film, and, like, the body's kind of flung. I saw it on Twitter, but it's, like, been getting taken down and brought back up.
First thing, I didn't even finish typing elephant. It's elephant funeral.
Elephant funeral. She, like, grabs the body almost like Muscle Man from regular show, swings shirt over his head, but it's a body, and flings it, and then, like, tramples the body more. Like, there was a vendetta here. This woman, or someone in this woman's life, or maybe in a past life, this woman was a wicked person. Or someone in their life was wicked that hurt this elephant. This elephant had a vendetta, and it wanted them dead. It wanted to be sure that everyone knew that it was dead. And I find that fascinating.
Holy hell, there's already a meme about it.
Oh, yeah. Are you surprised? I mean, okay, I was going to say worse things have happened, and in that moment, memes were being made. But, I mean, for some people, this is a terrible thing. And yeah. As you're, like, furiously searching over there for it. I saw it was just a clip I saw on Twitter, and you see the elephant pick something up, swing it, and just chuck it. And, like, it's so far away you can't really see it. But that's where the news coverage got. And then, like, how this person died. I was like, I think that same elephant trampled it and then came back and just murdered it. Not murdered, just, what's the word I'm looking for? Disgraced or,
defiled
the body at the funeral. Thank you.
Man, all this is news clips. Nobody cares about you stupid, boring newscasters.
Yeah, and like I said, the clip I saw was only there, and when I went back for it, because I was going to use it as reference, like, within an hour, it's taken down. It's been popping up, taken down, popped up, and then I was just like, okay, I got the idea.
What did Maya Murmu do? Because other people wanted to know why the elephant killed her.
She did something. She had to have done something. Because like I said it at the beginning, elephants just don't go out of their way to just to violently murder. Something happened. What if the elephant saw her commit tax fraud? And the elephant was like, no, you will not.
Not today. Pay your fair share.
You will not commit tax fraud in my India. And then just murders her when he gets her alone. Like I said, this elephant had to have been planning this.
Oh, yeah.
Like, in the movies, when there's, like, the heist scene, they're sitting there going through the plan, and the elephant's like, so what we will do is we will wait for when she goes to get water. The other elephants will keep the locals busy by looking cute, and I will go in and kill her.
I will be the instrument of our vengeance.
But what vengeance? I want to know this elephant's backstory. I want to know this elephant's. And this is like a fantastic. Unless you find information that you want to discuss, this is a fantastic segue into the other half of the episode, which is literally the other night I drank a lot, and for some reason I was in, I was inspired to be creative, and I made a lot of terrible movie ideas. Terrible movie ideas. And the elephant was one of them.
The elephant, by the way, I couldn't find the video.
Yeah. The
Damn
elephant
it.
murdering this woman. Like it could be like a revenge story, revenge plot. And it's from the elephant perspective. But do you remember those movies that were very popular at the end of the 90s, early 2000s when it was like animals and they would have people talk over them? They wouldn't make the animal talk, like Milo and Otis or Homeward Bound. You see any of those? Do you know what I'm talking about?
We
Please
will
don't.
never speak of Homeward Bound on this podcast.
Okay,
That scarred me for life
but
as a child.
but
Yes, I
you know
understand.
of it and that
Yeah.
style where it's the animals talking.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So
Man, now I'm about to cry. The freaking dog trying to get out of the mud pit and it can't. And they're like, we can't leave you. And he's like, leave me. I am old.
yeah,
It's like, no! Get him out!
and,
They're almost home!
they were. Now that you bring
That
I
was
forgot about that.
As a small child, I literally sat there and bawled my eyes out. I'm like, they're gonna seriously kill this mother effing dog. I don't know, I was like 3 or 4, but I was like, I can't believe they just killed this dog.
You knew that was sad. Even at that age, you knew that was sad.
I bawled to this day, at 30 years old, I cannot watch that movie.
Oh,
I get PTSD just thinking about
I
it.
can't watch any movie like that where there's a bad ending for the animal, right? Bad ending
Yeah,
for a person.
slaughter
okay.
people in the millions. I don't give a crap.
Dogs?
But you leave that dog alone.
All right, okay. Before we get into this and talking about the elephant movie, I was thinking about this the other day. Regardless of what type of dog I think game developers, you need to back off on putting dogs or canines as enemies in your games because I don't like killing them, number one. Number two,
Just do them as wolves.
not even wolves. No, you don't need any of that. Be creative and make some kind of like rhino dog hybrid. Like you do that. The thing is, from the dog's perspective, they were being the goodest boys and girls. They had nothing against you. They loved the person who trained them, and they were willing to die for them. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, this dog that's attacking me, I'm like, it's just trying to be the goodest boy.
I won't lie I never thought about it that much, but I definitely, like in Skyrim, I have no problem killing wolves. Wolves are apex predators. I don't care about killing them. But when there was an actual dog, that's when I was like, man, I don't want to. I agree with you. I'm like, I don't want to kill the dog. I still blow its brains out, but I don't want to.
I don't know why dog has began to cats. Put cats in there. Have all the animals be cats. I don't care about cats.
Well, that might actually be kind of funny. Just a herd of like 24 cats running at you, and you're like, what the hell?
I mean, I do like cats. I'd rather like none of those animals. Make some, I don't know, mythical monster with big fangs and teeth and look
just
ugly.
do what Fallout did and have them be zombie dogs.
Yeah, it's dogs are just trying to be the goodest boys and goodest girls in video games, and I'm just sick and tired of, let's put an enemy, we'll just throw a dog in there. No, I don't want to kill dogs.
Just go old school, heartless, just like crying her eyes out, old yeller, I don't want to do this, boy.
As you're holding the gun and your hand
fades,
shaking.
As the camera pans up to the sunset, you just hear a single cow.
And it echoes. And birds fly out from the trees, too.
And then you just
like, even replace them with infants. I don't care, just not dogs. I don't want to kill a dog.
Man, I think I've only ever played like 2 games where like babies were enemies that you could kill.
Dead Space.
And Dante's Inferno.
Yeah, and the old shooter done by 3D Realms, Prey. Not the newer one, the one before it. They killed a lot of kids in that game. They had some balls in that game.
There is not enough child killing in game. Like, not even, and I don't mean that, all right, first off, FBI, don't come at me. But I mean, like, if you're trying to make, like, a real horror game or, like, a real psychological, like, mess you up game, I think they need more of that. Because that's a real thing that would, like, scar you for life. And not just be like, I lost my child. Like, nah, put that scene in the game. Just do what everyone else does and put the warning. Be like, hey, there's some messed up crap in this game. It's
Mhm, mhm.
rated M, or isn't there like an adults only rating too?
There's M and adults, and
And
kind of
that's
the
like what, 18 and up or like 21 and up?
21 and up.
Just do that. Make games for us. Make games for just the 21 and up.
I mean, I don't want to see that messed up stuff, but
I
also,
do.
as I said, like I'll shoot an infant over shooting a dog. Yeah,
Hey, I
maybe.
am dead inside. If I'm gonna feel anything, it's probably gonna be sadness. So like make me feel some sadness.
You know, it's a benefit to you. You're feeling an emotion from
It's
this.
exactly it. I'm like, I am human.
As long as it's
And
like
then I cry, but still, at least I felt something.
as long as it's narratively and it just fits with the story to
Oh yeah.
make you develop more instead
I
of just like you're a horror game walking around a house and you just walk around a corner and it's just a clown that pulls out a revolver and is like bang, like
well yeah, no, I'm not saying do it like just for the sake of doing it. Like you're saying,
tastefully. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for.
like have that be you're making a detective game. Why is he now a detective, or why is he such a douchebag cop? Like whatever it takes to get the job done. Maybe something happened to his kid.
I mean that what happened at Heavy Rain. His kid was killed by the killer of the game, and the dad wanted to kind of figure out what happened and get revenge at the same time. So there is a way you can do it like tastefully and narratively appropriate.
But I mean, like, if you hear a child crying and then the child stops crying, that's gonna mess you up more than a lot that I can think of.
That is true because people die every day.
That's my point. Death doesn't discriminate. Don't.
Death does not discriminate, especially with elephants and women getting water. See, these segues and bringing it back,
You're getting
I've been
really
getting
good.
good with it. So the movie I'm thinking is kind of set up in the tone of Homeward Bound. How did we get to killing children from Homeward Bound?
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. I went to bed at like 1 or 2 in the morning last night.
Yeah, because you had some freedom because your
I
wife's
did.
out
My
of
wife was
town.
out of town on a conference, so I was like, I'm gonna do a bachelor weekend, which consisted of going to the driving range, getting Taco Bell for dinner, and coming
Mm-hmm.
home and drinking and playing No Man's Sky.
Yep. And that's
And
all it needs to be.
and
That's
then I
all it
woke
needs to
up at
be.
like 8 and I was like, I'm hungover, I'm really tired, and I have a lot of chores to do today.
Same with me. Same with
Oh,
me.
and I gotta go pick her up
At
later.
some point, yes.
Ugh.
You know what? Hire an Uber to go get her.
I was like, why can't they just take you back to where your car is? Why do I have to go and do this?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah. You'll have to get her later. Okay, okay. Back to the elephant story. Set up like Homeward Bound, but it is a revenge plot, and you. So you know, whenever you watch a movie, that there are actually different types of filters they'll use on the movie. Like a comedy has a very specific filter.
Oh
Horror
yeah,
movie has a
yeah,
very
yeah.
specific filter.
I think it's
Action, anything.
different. Yeah, like different cameras, different styles, like established.
Right, and
Yeah, yeah.
so it would be shot in like a murder thriller movie, but it would just be an elephant like plotting.
Can Henry Cavill voice the main one?
Oh yes,
Just the
definitely.
Witcher voice. I didn't set out to be evil, but evil was thrust upon me in my herd. I'll not rest until I see it destroyed.
And the elephant.
Hello?
and,
Who's there? I'm sorry, that's not funny, but
and the elephant is just kind of like he says the one line from Witcher when he's just like fuck. And the elephant says that, and it's just like this giant kind of planning of the attack, and it shows the backstory of whatever this woman did. Hopefully, you know what? It'll be a Hallmark original movie because they always take like movies based off of real life events and romanticize them. So it'll be this elephant. So okay, so we could take two routes: the Hallmark original movie.
No, I want them both. Just the Hallmark PSA at the end, like that really shoehorned in scene where they're like trying to get a message across.
And,
Like,
and it's not even hidden. Like some spokesperson walks out into the set, totally ruins the immersion, and just
we
says,
had to watch.
this is our statement," or "This is our thing," whatever.
We had to watch so many of those videos in school for some reason. There was one I think about, and it was really actually kind of messed up. Like I get that they were trying to like make a point, but it was really messed up to watch these. Like some girl got raped by like the entire football team, And then at the end, and it was like a real dark movie, even though it was like Hallmark or whatever. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
then at the very end, it was just like this monologue of somebody's like, when you see something, you need to speak up. You need to be, and the message is good. I'm not knocking the message. I'm just saying Hallmark sucks at it because it completely took you out of the movie, and you're like, yo, you could have just done a commercial about this and
Instead
not
of
like
a movie.
traumatized me of watching this horrible
Those
movie.
PSAs, I remember one of like the one where it's a bunch of you probably have seen this before. Heck, this could be another movie, another revenge plot. But we just replace all the kids with elephants, right? Just hear me out. It's the one PSA where there's like a preschool and they're just having a picnic, and some guy at the or girl at the top of the hill is driving really fast and texting, and then she swerves out of the way, and the car like tumbles down the hill and just like rolls over, steamrolls all these preschoolers, and it was just like, and it was just like, don't text and drive. Those PSAs are like, that's fear mongering. That's what that is, 100%.
That just reminds me of I saw a commercial. Some kids ditched school and it was like all happy, and I think it was like two couples, they're like teenagers, two guys, two girls. They were like running free. They went to the beach. They were having so much fun, and then all of a sudden one of them just explodes into blood and guts. And the other three are just like and then there's explosions all around of them, and they're like screaming and running back to the car, and like one of them gets blown up, and like the girl was holding his hand or something, then all of a sudden she's just holding his hand.
This had to have been like a European
And
commercial.
oh yeah, I think it was. But then like, and then the other girl like is running back to grab her because she's like freaking out, and she just blows up, and there's blood all over the last remaining chick, and she's just sitting there rocking back and forth screaming, and it was something like, don't skip school, and like because they wound up on a military firing range.
That's what I was about to ask. I'm like, did they wander into a
It
minefield?
panned out, and there was like a sign that was like no trespassing, military like firing range, something like that. It's like, oh my god, that's what you're gonna do to tell kids to stay in school?
That is the prime. The absolute prime statement of fear mongering. You're sitting there getting traumatized, and then they're just like, this wouldn't have happened if you would have stayed in school. This wouldn't have happened if you weren't texting
exactly what the
and driving.
message was. I was like, oh my god.
And that's just a little ridiculous. You can have discussions about it and conferences and like
as an adult,
motivational speaking, but not that.
As an adult, I laughed because it was so ridiculous. But if you're like a young kid, like really young, and you see that, and you're just,
that's horrifying.
Yeah, you're just like, I don't think I'm ever gonna leave the school building. Like, I'm just not gonna come home.
Because I'm gonna blow up.
I'm gonna get shot on my way home from school. We're gonna segue back into the movies, but I have one more. I also think we've talked about it before, but it fits in the vein, and it's also a sad state of the U.S. today. You remember it was 2 years ago, I think.
Okay.
They did the PSA commercial about back to school.
I do not even want to talk. I know exactly what you are saying.
I watched it and I was, pardon my language, but I was fucked up the rest of the night. I looked at Kate and I was like, did I just watch that? And she was like, she was like near to tears. I'm like, what the hell? Anybody who wants to know, tough, because it was traumatic to watch. But it was about like school shootings, and it was just a commercial in the U.S.
And oh my gosh, it's just, that like makes me sick to my stomach. That like PSA, and that's like
it is a problem, but I'm like, that was bad. That served no purpose beyond fear. Like what you were saying, that was nothing but fear mongering.
I kind of feel, yeah. I also feel like that one is also kind of a statement of like, yeah, things aren't too great, and this is kind of the reality of it.
That's fine, but you just terrified millions of kids.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They're already scared enough, and you put that crap on TV.
Oh, because that stuff pops up on the news all the time, just in general. Like whenever it happens, it's all so the kids are already aware of it, and then you put that on TV like this, a normal way of life.
Yeah, just like this will happen.
As soon as you said it, I knew what you were gonna say. I'm like that PSA.
I'm feeling uncomfortable now, but
dude, I got that anxiety tingling in my chest when you brought it up. I was just like,
Well, what really messed me up is because this was before we had been talking about kids, but that was something that, like, I don't know, when I saw that, it hit me. I was like, oh my god, if we ever decide to have kids, this is now something I, like...
You have to consider, you have to think about it.
I've always considered it, but it's never been, like... I don't know. It freaked me the hell out.
Yeah, that's those PSAs. They go a little too hard. So let's get back to the happy and the positive, please, because I'm still feeling anxious just from talking about that
No, I think I'm gonna need to go
PSA.
out and get a shot. Kate can just get an Uber home.
Yeah, it's a cake, get an Uber. I'm doing shots.
I
So
can't. I'm drunk. I'm not going to
what I
dinner
was going to
tonight.
say was that PSA we just replaced. That could be the first one I talked about. The car rolling down the hill over. It would be like a little bunch of little baby elephants, and like the mom elephant saw this, and then that was the revenge that it got on that lady. You know what I mean? That could be the setup. Okay, here's the first one that I have. Um, this one I really went into because also at the same time of those animal movies, there were a lot of monkey movies. Movies where they would just throw a monkey into the scene,
Mighty Joe Young.
no, not even Mighty Joe Young was about a monkey. I'm just talking like the equivalent of like Air Bud. It's a basketball movie, but a dog's in there. But they would do
Oh,
that, but it would just put a chimpanzee in there.
there really were a lot of those.
There were a lot of those. So I want to bring those back because we don't know where those went. So we got ourselves this one. Three. All right. Here's the synopsis. Three criminals plan the greatest heist of their careers. However, they have to get a new getaway driver due to a tragic loss of their old one. And there's a whole backstory of losing the getaway driver right before flashbacks,
He
whatever.
texted and flipped his card down and hit one of the
No, nothing
preschoolers.
like that. The setup for this movie is going to be 100% super serious, no jokes. When searching the criminal underground for a new getaway driver, they come across the greatest getaway driver, who is the chimpanzee.
Bubbles.
Bubbles? Are we
They're
going
always
Bubbles?
named Bubbles.
All right, so we're naming it Bubbles. And the thing, a fun fact I found is chimpanzees can run 25 miles per hour. That's their top speed. So we could probably incorporate that somewhere in the script. And so at first there's this period of like, this is a chimpanzee. We're not hiring a chimpanzee to be our getaway driver.
They find him and he's just in the underground smoking a cigarette. Ooh, ow!
Exactly.
They're
I
just
don't.
negotiating, but it's a dead serious scene.
And I'm thinking the three people that we could have to be the people would be, one would be Vin Diesel,
John
definitely.
Leguizamo, or whatever, however you say it. He was in the John Wick movies.
Keanu Reeves.
No, he was the John. I don't know how to say his last name.
All
Damn
right,
it!
well, find out because I have no idea who you're talking about.
You'll know who it is when I say
going.
it, and you'll be like, perfect.
I was going Vin Diesel, Jason Statham. None of them can have hair. They got to be shaved bald. So we have those two.
Okay. Well, then this dude's out. But
Well, let me see the picture of the dude because we can.
this dude, he's a little older in this one.
Oh, that guy. Okay.
Yeah, John
Yeah.
Leguizamo. I'm pronouncing that really wrong.
Oh, he can definitely be in the movie. He will be like the handler for the monkey. Like,
yeah.
he's like
that'd be perfect.
he's like the agent, right? So we get Vin Diesel, we get Jason Statham, and who's another bald actor?
If you want an old grizzled veteran, you could have Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis.
There's Dave Bautista.
We could do Bruce Willis. So you could get Bruce Willis into the game again.
I'm trying to. Oh, you said Jason Statham, Vin Diesel. You want a serious movie?
Yeah, it's gonna
I
be
would say
serious.
Bruce Willis. I was gonna say The
Bruce Willis.
Rock, but I feel like Bruce Willis does a better serious role.
Yeah. So those three are the ones doing the heist. They're all a little older, right? Vin Diesel would probably be the youngest one. Or we could put Johnny Sins in there somewhere, wherever. He's bald, right?
He's just the teller at the bank or wherever they're gonna rob.
So
Everybody who watches the stuff, because like half the audience would be like, "Yo!" and everybody's like, "That's," and everybody's like, "Who's that?"
who's that? And then how do
never
you
mind.
explain?
Yeah.
Oh, that's that guy. What's he in? Okay, we're moving on.
Theatrical pieces. Like the funny thing is, I know the name. I actually don't know what he looks like.
It's just a bald guy. He just fits the thing. He's just a bald man. Just a bald man.
That would be, man. Producers need to do that more. Just hire porn stars for like cameos, because half time either
someone's gonna sit there and
someone would be like, "Yo, is that
do the Leonardo DiCaprio thing
is that
when he
Mia
leans
Khalifa?" They're like, "Where do you know her from?"
Like lean forward, like that meme of Leonardo DiCaprio,
Yeah.
like pointing, like,
Yo,
oh, wait a minute, it's that guy. So, all right, those are our three castings: Bruce Willis, Jason Statham, and Vin Diesel. And there's some element of family involved because Vin Diesel, whatever. Like, they're just sitting there and it's like, monkey. Like, Vin Diesel's like,
I'm not
monkey.
putting the fate of my family in the hands of a monkey.
And then by the end, he's like, you are family. And the monkey just turns around and goes, like the monkey is just doing goofy stuff and everyone is super serious.
He just turns around. He's like, Bubbles is part of this family now. And he's just in the background fapping.
Even does that really cheesy, slightly terrifying monkey smile where they pull their gums all the way back. And then just the big thumb up with the double jointed thumb, and you're just like, all right, dude. So here's the other element to it to make it a little more interesting, because I wanted to add a little more to it. Where, all right, it's all about this big heist, the new getaway driver. There's even a scene where the monkey's shooting a desert eagle. Like in the
while
car.
driving,
yeah,
just does like the reverse thing, and he just has it out the window and takes out like 3 cars.
Yeah, that's what
following.
You would think, but no, he's sitting there, and it's one of his legs with the desert eagle.
That's even better.
Sticking out of the vehicle as he's driving, foot on the his hand on the gas pedal, and he's sitting there like.
What if he's just driving normal, one handed on the wheel, one hand on the stuff, but he's got one leg and one arm out the window, and he's just double.
He could.
Ah! Ignore that, everybody.
Just double destroying, double fisting.
But he's missing the cars completely, and he's just hitting civilians.
Not even civilians. It's like he's very accurately hitting stupid things like a random plant holder, like hanging off a street sign, and just poof, the plant falls, knocking over a sign, blowing out a window. And they're sitting there and they're like, it's like, monkey, stop shooting. He's like, they're just like firing away.
He just empties both clips and they're like, you didn't hit him at all. And then all of a sudden the street just collapses down onto the cars and the monkey's like, fuck you.
It's like the monkey was hitting these exact certain things to make a almost Rube Goldberg machine.
Yeah.
Where it's like rolls out just perfectly like the flower pot. Just hits the tire just right where the whole vehicle flips over.
He breaks 80 million things to shatter the pot, so there's just one little piece of like the plant of the pot are sticking up, and a front car hits it, pops a tire, and destroys all of it.
Yeah, it destroys everything. Yeah, and like all the police.
It's gotta be $50 million worth of damage, monkey. You're a genius.
And the monkey just turns around and does the big
creepy
scary smile and just. Because that's how the monkeys clap. It's always exaggerated and massive, and like it's so loud.
Oh my god!
So here's the other half of it. So after their big heist, they
that's not even the end.
Right?
Of the movie.
No, they're planning another heist, an even bigger one, because they're like, I think the heist probably like the bank was owned by some kind of mafia. So then the 3 guys, Vin Diesel, Jason Stamos, and
Jason Stamos.
Statham. I just said Stamos, didn't I?
John Stamos could be the villain in the mafia.
Okay. All right. Hold that thought, because here's the other part. After the heist is a success, they plan another heist at a bigger place, whether bank or wherever. However, they are challenged and probably even robbed, like their thing they were robbed, and like, what the hell, by a rival gang with three characters and also another monkey, right? Whose getaway driver is an orangutan who taught the protagonist chimp all he knows about driving.
Even better.
So there's like flashbacks of like the orangutan and the monkey, and obviously there's no dialogue. They're just sitting there and they're looking at each other with their just dumb monkey faces. And then they're just like flashbacks.
They're just sitting there screaming at each other at some point, and there's just a lady monkey sitting there, and then she walks away with him, and he's just like reaching out.
Right, because they take it away, and the orangutan's like, no. So like they finally meet, and then there's this kind of internal turmoil with the chimp where he's like, that's my old master, but I can't go against my new family. What do I do? And
so he's still on good terms with the other.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
and it's just the orangutan is like, kind of like, you used to be my master, but now you're a bad guy. Not really, but it's just because the monkeys identified family as Vin Diesel, Jason Statham, and Bruce Willis.
Who would they be going up against?
All right, we get another all-star cast. Okay. Danny Trejo's one of them.
So we're going to go with like beautiful hair now.
Yeah, we're going to do the opposite, go beautiful hair.
I think Danny Trejo, John Stamos, and...
John Stamos can be the crime boss that hired these guys. I do like that. John Stamos, he's more of a guy who sits behind a desk and plots.
Fair.
So, Danny Trejo,
I don't even know who would like.
Who would fit those? You know what I mean? We
Um,
could have Jared Leto in there for like just hear me out. Hear me out. Just for a cameo, like while the monkey's driving by, shooting everything exactly to have the Rube Goldberg effect, like shoots him in the head, has absolutely no,
nothing to do.
just
Okay,
just because.
I'm cool with that. Oh, what's his name? What's his name? Jason Momoa.
Oh, the guy! I would be his bottom. Holy shit! Yes.
Yeah, I think
J-
Danny Trejo, Jason
Is it?
Momoa.
It's Jason Momoa, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Jason,
he was in
Danny
Game of
Trejo,
Thrones. He's Aquaman.
Danny Trejo, Jason Momoa. Who else has beautiful hair? Who else? What other
I
actor
don't.
has beautiful hair?
I'm trying to think. I can't think of
You know what? For our last person, I'm going to just like look up just real quick male actors with beautiful hair.
Fabio.
Fabio.
No, he's got to be too old. I was gonna say Orlando Bloom, but I don't think he fits
He doesn't
that.
really have the Legolas hair that you're thinking of.
Well, I wasn't even that. I was just more. He's got like the.
Yep, Jason Momoa's on here.
I mean, obviously.
Um, oh my gosh, who?
Not Henry Cavill. I don't want Henry Cavill to be a bad guy.
I mean, when Tom Cruise grows his hair out, looks pretty good.
I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan. I
Neither,
mean,
neither am I.
he would be
Chris
really
Hemsworth with the Thor hair, we could
Chris
have
Hemsworth.
that.
I love it.
Yeah, we could do. Okay, we do. Or Zac Efron.
Ooh, both
Ooh.
good.
Ooh. I just want Danny Trejo on the one side, like
Danny
Danny Trejo.
Trejo, Jason Momoa,
Yeah, we have to have
and
both of them, and then we can just throw. I don't
wait,
know.
who was wow, brain fart. Who was before Zac Efron?
It was Chris Hemsworth with
Chris
his long
Hemsworth.
hair. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I feel like he would go in with that like rugged group of guys better.
Yeah, like the other side.
Yeah, the bad guy
Okay,
side.
so we got to find someone else. Um, who's Jon Snow's actor?
Kit Harington?
He's got some nice hair.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I meant Chris Hemsworth could be part of the bad guy squad. So it'd be those three and the monkey versus Jason
Oh, so
Statham,
okay,
Bruce
Chris Hemsworth
Willis,
would
and
work with that
yeah,
group.
yeah.
Okay.
Because he's got that rugged look. So I feel like they
Yes.
could be like the rugged but good looking.
Younger
Yeah, the
lads.
younger,
Well,
all
Danny
ripped.
Trejo's old as shit. Like, wait a
He
minute.
is, but he's
Eh,
the mentor.
He's the mentor, and yes, and the orangutan is like
Plus, it's Danny Trejo. I
I
mean,
love Danny Trejo.
isn't he supposed to be like a really nice dude too?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But he plays all of these like scumbag people in a lot of
Yeah, he
movies.
does. And you ever see Machete with him in it?
No.
Oh, beautiful movie. I have it like somewhere on DVD. I'll let you borrow it. It's a beautiful, stupid movie, but he's in it. Um, yeah, so that's the rival gang. And then the rival gang like have this big old like they do the heist at the same time. So all the people at wherever are calling the police. Police are like, why do they have a whole army? It's just three expert assassins. It's like the Expendables, but for a heist movie. Almost like Oceans 11, 12, whatever. But there's just two monkeys, right? And like after the heist, the monkey's about to get away, and they're like, Chimp! That's what no Bubbles, that's right, we name him. They're like, Bubbles, we gotta go! And Bubbles is just standing there with like a desert eagle aimed at his mentor, and his mentor's sitting there in the car, like on the side, and he's like with like the sign language, like Jane Goodall taught the monkeys. He like sign language to him. He's like, you won't kill me. And the monkey's sitting there like there's this huge
But
turmoil.
that's when he's just like he signs back, "No, I won't, but I won't let you get away." And he shoots the tire and then runs to the car.
He shoots a tire and the chimpanzee tries to drive and it steers him right into like a brick pillar because this happens under an overpass. So they get away and the cops arrest them all.
The orangutan is just like
And
middle finger in the air
right?
afterwards.
And the orangutan's sitting in jail with the other guys, like looking around, like smoking a cigarette, and like in the distance, he just sees the chimpanzee, like it's just looking at him. But the chimpanzee it's not as stoic as you would want it to be. The chimpanzee just has its, holding its hands over its head, going.
He's got a suit jacket on, but no bottoms.
Oh yeah.
Just gets back into the car and drives
The
away.
monkey would always
screaming.
wear a shirt, but never bottoms, and the chimpanzee would always be in a wife beater. That is
God, I
like,
wish we gotta get some money because man, this would be a great movie. Because you know it would be like an epic action movie, but just it would be hilarious.
and there would be some awesome shootouts between the monkey and his boss. Like, and that shootout at the end, they just went through hell, and
The
he has like
monkeys-
one bullet in his like
Did you ever
gun.
see? Oh, what was it? Was it Wanted? Whatever. I can't remember the name of. It was the
Okay.
assassin movie with Angelina Jolie.
Was it curving bullets?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that.
That, but the monkeys shoot like that though.
Well, probably because they swing their orangutan arms or a chimpanzee arm and curve bullets, and
But
they're
they're
like,
just crazy shit.
and it's like a choreographed fight between the two, but they're curving bullets and they're like dodging it. So like stuff around them, like you see the bullet marks getting like the bullets getting shot in the wall, the debris getting the ricochets, and they're just like bam, 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 bam.
Jason Statham's just like, damn, these monkeys are crazy.
and the movie would be called Going Bananas.
Got me.
The movie would just be titled Going Bananas.
Oh my god.
And the plot, like you look at the movie poster, it is the most epic thing you've ever seen, and it's just like in the most serious font, it says "Going Bananas."
Oh, we need to make that movie.
Yeah, that was my first idea,
Jason Momoa, hit me up. We can make this movie.
and it's like you kind of expect one side loses, but it's like no one dies. I mean, a lot of like
Except Jared Leto.
Jared Leto dies, and I mean like anyone opposing our heist groups. Also, funny thing I found out, the scientific term for a chimpanzee is pan-troglodyte. That's just fun fact.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, it's pan-troglodyte.
That's crazy.
Okay. Here's another one I came up with. Really also dumb, and I have no idea, but
I ain't saying that one's dumb. That one was amazing.
It leans very heavy into kind of Pacific Rim and Evangelion, right? Neon Genesis Evangelion.
I haven't watched it yet, but it is on my watch list.
Yeah, but just be ready for therapy sessions after that one.
I'm probably already ready.
In a distant future, Earth is attacked every 7 days by massive, biblically accurate angels. So I'm talking like rings and incomprehensible shapes with millions of eyes and angel wings. They attack Earth,
Yeah,
right?
if anybody who talks about these angels being like beautiful creatures, read the Bible. They're like chimeras with 17 heads.
Yeah, I distinctly remember when I was a young lad reading the Bible that there was one where it was like had an animal's head, but it had 9 heads on that head, but that was only one, and it circled around its entire body with more heads and more heads, and just crazy stuff. Like, that's what I'm looking for, right? So I don't know why, but to combat them, the countries united and built massive mechanical humanoid suits, just like Pacific Rim, giant robots fighting these, Evangelion, that are powered by the energy siphoned from amateur performance theater.
So no energy?
No! Like, just imagine, I get your joke. So, and it could be even just theater, like, it's just theater nerds. So just imagine every single suit, and I don't know why this was my idea, but I was drinking quite a bit, and I had some other things too, which helped. I like a giant suit, but on the inside of the suit, you usually have people piloting it. No, it is a stage, a theater stage with a backdrop and behind the scenes. And you're sitting there like rubbing your head like, all right, this idea is stupid.
Not stupid, just...
And it would be a musical / Evangelion, like very heavy religious overtones mixed with like, they perform the equivalent of Rent.
I was just imagining like cats going on, and then the angel just punches the mechanical suit, and everybody in there just gets rocked off the stage.
And that does happen, but like
one of them's got like a snap neck, but he's like on the ground gurgling, trying to deliver his lines to power the robot. Like,
and there are understudies everywhere. Like every suit has at least like 50 understudies for each person who knows the
Cast
run.
one's dead. Cast one dead. Bringing the backup. Backup.
You know, it's literally like Evangelion. They're sitting at the command base giving them orders. I'm like, you got to do this. This power energy cell down. You only got 15 seconds of energy. And like,
I want to hear your pipes going. We need more energy.
And then on the top, like across, like in the back of the theater on the stage, like there's no audience, but it's always televised. Like the show, not the battle, the show. So like people are randomly dying. And on the top, like a big quote. You know, like how places will have that, like on the back wall of churches do it a lot, but sometimes theater will have a quote said by someone profound in the field or whatever.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
talking about? And it would say, "The show must go on."
Till death does the show go on.
And like every time they enter in, there's like it's above the door and they slap it, kind of like in Battlestar Galactica whenever they do that with like the one very was it like
I
was it,
never watched it, but I definitely know they're just.
there's that thing. I think it was very based on like a lot of uh Mormon philosophy, I think, or some kind of religious philosophy. Maybe Jehovah's Witness. I don't remember, but they would always do that. Always touch this like this symbol, this sigil, whatever it was, whenever they came into the
God
boiler room.
protect us. Well, God sent his angels to kill us, so.
Exactly, and it just and that's the whole movie, and it just that's the plot, and it just pretty much we'll just take the notes from Evangelion, where just everything goes very wrong in the end.
Now
Very
I
wrong and
gotta
very
watch it. I
bad.
gotta finish Samurai Jack and then I'll watch
Oh,
Evangelion.
Samurai Jack is so good.
Is there 3 or 4 seasons on that?
There's 5.
There's 5?
So
I
4
wonder if HBO doesn't have all of them.
HBO should have 5 because the last one premiered on Adult Swim, and it's the violent, sexy one.
I know, that's the one I want to get to.
Yeah. But you have to watch all the other ones to appreciate that, only because
I'm on the one where the lion people are hunting him. I'm only on season 2.
dude, that's one's so good.
Umakundi.
And like at the very end, they're just like, "You're worthy. We won't kill you. See you, bro." And the lion people just leave, and he's just like, "All right." Yeah, I think, and that is just and you know the way to finally defeat the angels or to beat the final battle is like one of the students had to, I don't know, write their own play and have it go off without a hitch, something like that.
The perfect performance.
The perfect performance.
No! Crap. Spoiler.
It's not on there.
No, it is on there, but I was looking at like the last season 5 and I saw the ghost of one of my favorite characters and I'm like, oh, did he die?
The Scotsman.
Yes.
The Scotsman.
Did he die? Apparently, because I just saw his ghost.
Damn it! If you just see a ghost, yeah. As soon as you literally said that, I was just like, yeah, yep, it's the Scotsman. Mm-hmm.
He was so.
I love him. Did you get to one where he has to save his wife?
Yes.
I love that one.
She's just really weird, screaming like "Shayla," and she just like.
And she's massive and like, all right, Jack, you carry her.
We must find a separate entrance. Why? Because the entrance is so small, and your wife is so. It was such a good show.
Such a beautiful Samurai Jack's amazing. Okay, and there is honestly with that one, there's not much more to go into with that because it's such a bizarre idea. Anyways, this one we can go place it with this with actors and such because that one, last idea I had that leans very heavily toward like we would need to get actors that aren't well known just to fill in the spots because no one would act in that movie. I don't think.
I feel like at the end they would realize that they can't put the shows on inside the suits. They just do a show in the middle of like the ocean on a raft, like as everybody's battling around them. Then they finish the play and the lights go out. And then all of a sudden the angels just kind of like fall to their knees and start crying. Like, it's too beautiful.
And the show they did was
God comes from on high and he goes, "You have shown you are worthy, my children." And all the angels in the earth just kind of fly away.
And then that's it. And it's like they have 7 days to make a new play because there has to be a new play every time.
He goes, "Yes, continue to show your worth." And then there's just human critics like, "That's what saved us. That place sucked."
And it was Rent too. I know a lot of people love Rent. Rent just isn't my thing. I'm actually a huge like theater nerd. Fun fact about me. But just Rent wasn't for me. I understand its appeal, but not
Never
for me.
saw it. Not a huge fan of theater.
Yeah, you got to be a very specific type of person like that.
I appreciate the talent it takes to do it. I, however, as a consumer, get too bored. I am stupid and need
You need action.
I don't need a full action movie because I love Lord of the Rings, but it's got to have some action. It's got to make me invested. And as I'm watching this, I'm like, no, not invest.
I think my favorite thing about theater, and I did in high school, like as early as I could, I did theater, which I loved it. And I think my favorite thing is when I go see a show is I look around to watch for mistakes. I look around to see like if you can see people, in the, you know, behind the scenes, only because like just being in that position. every
nerd, you messed up.
every show, it's like the show must go on. Its thing is every show there's always mistakes. There's always, and it's just interesting that when you watch shows like I didn't see anything, and then you talk to someone who was in it, they're like, "Oh my gosh, we messed up so many times. We did this wrong."
But
And
that's
this
the thing
happened.
is if you can just that's where the talent comes in is if you just blow past it and keep going, the audience isn't gonna know.
Yeah, and
How are they supposed to know?
exactly, and that's what they tell you. It's like if you screw up, just keep going, go with it. They're not going to know. Yeah, and that's the type. The show must go on, right? Even if there's a mistake, the show must go on. All right, a movie idea number 3. It's a romantic drama, or it could be a romantic comedy, but I think
Both.
it would work better as a romantic drama for one reason only. Okay, the movie, I don't know what title it is. It's about a girl who is looking to find love in the big city, right? The standard plot, right? Comes from out of town.
This does matter. Is she a small town girl or is she just
Small town. We're gonna go small town, right?
okay? A little bit naive then.
Little bit naive. And she's like medium pretty, right? We're not talking hot, we're not talking ugly, we're talking like a 4 or a 5.
I would say like a 6 then.
A 5 or 6. Okay, we'll go 5 or 6, more on the high end. The only issue is she suffers from uncontrollable gas and IBS. So just imagine, it is just a serious movie about this girl trying to find love, and it's all about the intricacies and all the, strange, almost like, how do I put it?
I've
Standards.
seen this in real life.
Oh no.
We can talk about it.
No,
after
tell
the
me
podcast.
right now. I have notes so I won't forget. Tell me.
There was somebody I know from high school
Uh-huh.
who had this and she talked about it often and she is now happily married. And I'm just like
It's a movie about her.
Yeah. I'm just you just kind of gotta own it, I guess.
You just got to own it.
I mean, they're happy.
They might be stinky, but they're happy. The thing is, I wanted to be serious, like one of those more serious movies where, like, it really dissects
I'm just picturing like one of those super dramatic scenes where like she's on a date to a nice restaurant, everything's going well. It's like this super hot dude across the table.
Right.
And she is just like, "Oh my god, this is going better than I ever could have imagined." But then like there's like that high pitched but low like music kind of coming in. And the voice kind of fades away and it zooms in on her and it's like that like the drama we were talking earlier about the different styles.
Yeah.
It's like one of those psychological thriller ones where it's like two sharp contrasts and it's zoomed in on her face. You can see every bead of sweat on her forehead and you just hear and she's just like her eyes go wide and she's gripping the chair. It goes back and you just can see her clenching her cheeks all of a sudden. She's like, no, not now. All of a sudden, yeah, you just.
And the only reason I picture girls because it.
If a guy does it, it's like an Adam Sandler movie.
Right, but if a girl does it, everyone's like, disgusting.
But that's what I'm imagining is then all of a sudden she's like, slowly, just let it slow. And then everything passes and she's like, sigh of relief. But it's like Orlando Bloom across the table and he's like, and then I was also. And it's just he just stares at her and he's just like
And at that moment there's like that thud sound, like whenever something happens, like the like whenever he looks and it's just he's sitting there staring at her.
Yeah, he just stares at her and he's just like, waiter. He just throws like 1,000 on the table. He's like, get this woman a cab home and walks away. And she's just like, yeah.
And the reason I picked a woman is because like our societal norms are just like women can't fart. Yo, everyone farts, everyone poops. Get over it.
Yeah, really.
It's like with that being said, like it would just be interesting to put her, but the movie's completely serious, but the farts are really funny sounding.
Obnoxious,
Like
just
that whole
absolutely
that whole scene,
obnoxious.
right? That you just explained that entire scene, and then after she like it's like it passed, and then all of a sudden it just comes out of nowhere, and it's like
I'm I'm sorry. What was that?
it's just getting like almost offended by it. But then like throughout the entire movie, this happens constantly, and friends of hers don't make reference to it because they're her friends and they just know this is an issue.
I
So
have a
it's
really
just
good twist ending after
okay. All right.
alternate.
Save it for
It
the
can be an
ending.
alternate ending
All
because I
right,
want to hear
save it
yours.
for the ending. It's not even. I'm not even at the ending yet.
I know
It's just
it's
normal scenes, and she's talking to her friend, and she's like, "I just, I don't think I'm meant to love. I just don't think I'm good at relationships. I try, and they always fail. And in between that, it's just like,
every step.
but it's not even like it's just enough. It happens enough that you notice it, but everyone's completely serious about it, and everyone keeps going with the movie.
You would have to do that in post because there's
Oh
no
yeah,
way
oh
the
yeah.
actors would be able to keep a
Oh,
straight
yeah.
face.
It's all done in post, so the farts are like just over exaggerated. Like you'll even have ones that are just like and it was just like her just like bending over to pick up something and she's like, I guess I'm moving. I'm
There's
getting
gotta
kicked
be
out.
she's talking to one of her friends. There has to be just a 10-second cut of like, oh, excuse me, there's a public restroom. I have to go use it. And it is just a violent inside there. She is screaming and pounding on the stall door. Oh my God! Yeah! And then it just cuts back to them walking. Just like a real quick 5-second cut.
it's just it's just
But
it's
just horror music playing the entire time.
yeah, and it's just this totally serious movie where this is just happening in the background and the farts are just they're like the over exaggerated funny farts, or like ones that would just be like she's talking to like someone and it's just like it's a really wet fart. You're like, you the viewer are like that was really wet, but the scene keeps going like
And she just walks away and just picks a webby out of there.
no, that's the thing, you're making reference to it. No one's making reference to it. It's
Oh,
just
like at
it's a
all.
serious movie and there's just a lot of farts. Like I would watch that in a heartbeat.
That would be funny.
Oh, that would be such a good one. And like in the end, she does find love, and the guy's like, I don't care about that. And she's like, really? And he's like, yeah, because I have the same thing. And then it's like
That's what I was thinking, but I figured the twist ending would be she just finds another woman with IBS, and then they just fall in love and get
You know
married.
what? Let's do that.
Because then a
we are
guy would be
reaching
like,
the
I guess I can get past it. But she's like, no, I found someone who accepts me. And it could be like the best friend all along who was hiding that she had it. And they fall in love and get married. Or something like
Yes,
that.
I like that. I like that. And in the vein
She's
of
like, and you know what else? She likes to eat ass. And then just like they walk away.
Yeah, especially with the world we've set up, a lot of pink eye there. Oh my gosh, just with your whole eyeball open,
Well, it
and you're
has
like,
to be like
oh,
right after they shower. But
oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I like that. In the vein of Pride Month, it's going to be turned into just and like the main
Also,
character's been bi, right? Let's have the main character be bi the whole time, dates guys and girls. So like the hottest people in Hollywood, we're talking Orlando Bloom, we're talking Jason Momoa, we're talking
George Clooney comes in as like an
we're,
older
yeah,
guy
we're
who
talking
she's like
about
when she gets desperate for an older Brad Pitt,
Bad Pet. Now, the hottest women, we're talking about
Charlize Theron.
Charlize Theron. We'll throw her in there. Who's the other one that's older but she's gay? Is it Jodie Foster? Is that the right one I'm thinking of?
Jodie Foster, she's a little bit old, but
She's older, but she is gay. Last I knew.
well, I don't even think the actors themselves need to be like they could just
Well,
play
I
the
mean, just
character.
have a variety
Nicole
of
Kidman.
Nicole Kidman. Yeah, Jodie Foster. Is this the one I'm thinking of? Yes, it's her. Okay, yep. Jodie Foster, Silence of the Lambs lady, yeah.
Oh,
What if we had
who else is a real big? What's her name? The one who's like blowing up now. She was in Spider-Man. She was in that HBO show Euphoria.
I have no idea.
Zendaya?
Oh, that
Zendaya?
girl. You're talking about the new Spider-Mans.
Yeah, the
Okay, the
new
new Spider-Mans.
Spider-Mans.
Yeah, her. Okay, yes, her. We could even get uh Wonder Woman. What's her name? That
Oh,
actress.
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
Margot Robbie could be a good one too.
Margot Robbie would be good with just a lot of just different actors, and and the thing is, she develops friendships. But like a lot of people, especially those like, I can't get past the farting, I can't get past it. Like it really, and I want it to be a little more in depth than standard movies where it dissects the social norms and how we got here and why farts aren't accepted. Now, I'm not the type person like fart all the time and fart in my eyeballs, but I'm like, everyone does it. It's a process your body does to
One of my
expel.
favorite memes of all time is like the little cartoons they make and stuff. It's like first date. It's like the guy's like, "Oh, excuse me for a minute," and he walks out to fart, and then the
Right.
girl's at the table. She's like, "Oh, thank God he went away," and she farts, and then it's like 5 years into the relationship or something,
They're
and
just
they're both just farting on each other real bad.
violently
The
farting each
girl's like
other.
farts, and she's like, "Ha ha ha," and the guy like farts and blows her off the couch. He's like, "You ain't got nothing."
Because at the end of the day, farts are funny, but the movie's completely serious. But I would just like to see like people like geeking out. That like no, like now the people in
Everybody's
the
just like, "Oh." In the audience.
and then like the people who she's trying to date, those are the ones that are taking great offense to this, but also the ones that her friends and family and close people who know it's a thing, they ignore it. So it's just there's this dynamic of like they notice it, but it's almost like, do they actually notice it, or are we just the audience who notices it? Like, you know what I mean?
What if it starts out that way and nobody acknowledges it, and then when she moves to the big city, then people start acknowledging it because her family just never, and that's like a big reveal for her, is they're like,
Oh, the plot
"Sweetie,
twist.
you have IBS." She's like, "What?" She's like, "We just didn't want to embarrass you, so we never acknowledged
We just
it."
didn't want to tell you, and you're just she's
She's
like,
like, "All this time I thought it was me. Well, I guess it still is me, but."
and as she say that, just little just little toots.
That's how her and her best friend to get together. She's like, "Yeah, I have it too." She goes, "But I've never heard it." She goes, "I just constantly wear a butt plug."
Oh my! I don't think that would work.
No, it wouldn't. But
It's
I
not
think
like
for the sense of the movie, that would be hilarious. Because the girl would be like, "I don't think that's how that works."
Oh my gosh, I love it! I love it. Directors, hire us. Next one. So it is
Oh,
either it's a
I'm sorry, Going Bananas is still my
Going
favorite.
Bananas is the
I
best,
really want to
honestly.
see that as a movie.
So, all right, the next one is just it's either a period piece or it is a remake of like Pride and Prejudice or one of those movies. You know, that Victorian era where it's all just about drama and just woman finding right love or whatever. One of two things are replaced. One, a key character, not the main interest, but a key character is replaced by a chimpanzee, because I'm on a chimpanzee kick apparently.
You really were
Like
just.
a chimpanzee just dressed up as like in
Were you
their garb.
watching a monkey movie while you were writing these down or
No, I was just
something?
thinking about chimpanzees. It could even be like Downton Abbey. You know what Downton Abbey is?
Never watched it, but
But
I've
you know
definitely
what it
heard
is?
of it. Yeah.
Just about World War One. A hospital made in an old abbey, Downton Abbey,
Mhm.
right? Just like that. But you take one of the characters, replace it with a chimpanzee, and there's all this like love, interest, and dialogue and issues. And there's just a monkey in the background just doing monkey stuff. Like the monkey's barely trained, and just once again, no one pays any reference to it. No one cares.
There's just a really serious scene. The monkey just comes in and flips the patient's bed over and just starts screaming and runs away.
Like the woman sitting there,
Damn it,
like,
nurse! We told you to control your wild side.
and the monkey's
But it's
dressed
just in the background the whole
and the
time.
monkey's dressed in a nurse's outfit with a blonde wig and poorly put on makeup. and like it's like, damn it, nurse, we told you to control your wild side. And the monkey just like
We all have emotions right now. You need to control them.
and like the monkey waddles out of the room before the monkey leaves, turns around and goes, ah, and then leaves. Just that high monkey screech.
It's that passion that we need.
That
It just
passion.
needs focused.
And like the scene is like the one nurse is holding a soldier's hand. And he's like, I'm going. I see my child. I see the light. Tell my wife. Give her this amulet. And like in the middle of that, the monkey just comes over, grabs the table, flips it over. It's like,
Monkey just comes up and stabs him in the neck and just, nurse, that is not how we put patients out of their misery.
And the monkey just looks like, oh, holding the knife
Just
with blood
staring
dripping
at
out.
it and just staring at the dude.
No reference made to it. Or we take the same idea, and I stole this from another podcast, but the guy from there stole it from his friend, and it is a brilliant idea, and I'm so upset that no one has done it before. Take a movie like that, what we're describing, very serious, very drama-driven, character-driven, replace one of the actors with a poorly CGI'd person. Like, there's no need for it. And it's a person, and you try your best. Like, we're not using the deep fake technology we have now where you can slap literally Obi-Wan Kenobi's face onto anybody and it looks just like him. We're talking about early 2000s CGI, and we make a person out of that. And
They're
then
talking and the voice just doesn't line up at all.
and the thing, it's an important character, and it's the same movie. It's a very serious.
Doctor, I'm in love with you. And then they just try to make out nothing's lining up right.
Exactly. So just think that early 2000s CGI, and that's a character, a whole person. And I'm not even saying like you motion cap. You make the suit, you make the clothes, you make the hair, you make everything is CGI, and it's so poorly done. And you just slap them in a movie that it doesn't make sense to. Like everything else is like, our only
Super
CGI
high budget.
and it's like our only CGI budget was for the character Frank. And everyone's like, why? You could just put a person in that spot. And it was like, it would ruin
it's artistic choice.
and it would ruin the integrity of the film. That is exactly what I want. That is the movie I want. You're sitting over here
then
like
he dies at some point in the show or at the end of the movie, and it's just really bad CGI, like blood and all that.
yeah, just the worst CG. Like you set a time. It's like we can only use technology from like the 90s up to this point to make this work.
Like the Matrix CGI.
Yes, we could do that. Yes, but it's a character for the whole movie. And like
Love
he's in
it.
a lot of scenes, but for some reason he's CGI'd, and everyone's like, why is he CGI'd? Why is he in here?
Everybody's asking the director, why did you CGI him? Because it wouldn't be the same movie without it.
And that's true, because people would flock to that, be like, what is this movie about? Everyone's talking about, and it's just there's one poorly CGI'd man who's in there.
But on all the posters and stuff, it's like a real person. But then in the movie, everybody's like, what? Even better, it could be a real actor in some scenes, and then the bad CGI ones in others. And everyone's like, what are you doing?
Switch back and forth. And even on the posters, have the bad CGI guy there, and everyone's looking like, what? Is this
a camera malfunction?
Is this Lawnmower Man? What is this? that was the one with the guy who was in the video game, right? That old movie. Oh, okay.
I think we've talked about this before, but I don't think I've ever.
It's called Lawnmower Man. I think they put just this guy who was like on the spectrum, real low functioning. They put him in this computer, and then actually like he ascended into the computer. This is like 80s movie, so it has really bad CGI, like really bad.
That definitely sounds like an 80s movie.
Yeah, and he just like ascends into this cyberspace.
Like, you're going to be able to meld your consciousness with the computers, man.
Yeah.
It's like, no, Terminator had it right. AI will be our downfall. It's okay.
It's all right. Just accept it. That was a solid filling of an episode. That's like the episode. The outside was a donut, and on the inside, the filling was going bananas.
Dude, going bananas is just
going
too
bananas.
Perfect. That movie needs to be made. We get on Twitter and like just all.
I would even accept it as an anime. I would. Like a serious anime, but it's
but in the art style of Arcane.
Yes,
that would be great, because then the monkeys could just do those crazy like fight scenes as they're trying.
So just imagine what if the monkeys talked to each other in like fluent Japanese and talked like JoJo characters, kind of like I was gonna attempt the thing, but I'm probably actually just gonna edit something in here because I can't even.
Okay, so what if they talk to each other like
せっかく祖父のジョセフが私のザワールドの正体を試験終了チャイム直前まで問題を解いている受験生のような必死こいた気分で教えてくれたというのに
近づかなきゃてめえをぶちのめせないんでな。
ほほうでは十分近づくがよい。
Yeah, just very flamboyantly muscular poses from the monkeys, and they're just like, oh.
Dishonor my family, I will kill you.
And it's just like holding like the last scene, holding a gun, and like you know in anime when there's like the main antagonist who's older and has the lowest voice. Do you know who I'm talking about when you're listening to the
Silco?
No, I'm not. No, not Silco. I'm talking about like anime number one. That's arcane. And that's animation. It's a very
damn close.
It's close, but there's a very specific style, and you have to respect.
Yeah, I know
the
every
art.
nerd at home was just like, I should have
the immediate spike, the computer froze again.
I was trying to get it to. I hope it like stalls in the recording too.
And everything is like a second off, so our conversation is weird. No, like antagonist in a traditional anime, it's an older man, and his voice is so low, so intimidating, so almost fatherly, and like the orangutan's like, "You won't shoot me." And then he just starts to drive away, and he shoots the tire, and the car veers into the concrete pillar under the overpass.
And he just tells me, he's like, "You're right, I didn't shoot you."
And then he like violently scratches his butt, pulls out poop, and like flings it at him. But like flings it almost like I don't know, like in in the mafia movie, it's like clean yourself up, you filthy animal, with the towel when he's laying there dead. It's like the poop.
What if he doesn't shoot him? What if he grabs the poop and throws it and he clogs the muffler, and then like the back of the car just like
explodes and sends the car fly over. And then all the Danny Trejo, Jason Momoa, and then who was our last guy?
Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth. They're all just sitting there in bandages with like almost the comedic style of George of the Jungle, with the orangutan next to him in bandages too. This is the part where we tip our heads back and laugh. George of the Jungle. Brendan Fraser's like one of his best movies.
Brendan Fraser is a jewel of our society. He represented what could have been the best of us.
What's really sad about his story is like he dropped out of acting only because he like had a serious back injury.
He also got like sexually assaulted.
That too.
And so he's like, yeah, I don't want to be in this like
industry.
Not.
Yeah.
So
and that just proves like a guy saying that, it's like that ain't cool. Brendan Fraser, we
still love you.
We salute you. And with that being said, we salute you. I mean, I don't know where else to go because we're at our time limit. We're done. We wrap it up. Brendan Fraser, we salute you. Thank you for all you've done.
He can get a cameo in Going Bananas.
Oh, he will. He will. Somehow. All right. I'll have to think on how
we'll shoehorn that in there somehow.
But it's a cameo of like, it's a legit good cameo.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing like the Jared Leto where we shoot him in the head. Like, none of that.
Jared Leto's like, I'm not going to be in this movie. Like, we'll pay you a ridiculous amount of money to humiliate yourself and be in there for 10 seconds.
Well, he's the guy who runs the sex call. We'll just get him more people. And then it's like, we got you new followers. They're all about it. And he's like, really? And
I love how he's so mad about how everybody hated his roles. It's like, it's because you suck. If it's more than one time and it is consistent, it's because you suck.
It's because you suck, right? It's not even the director. It's
just a crappy band and you're a crappy actor.
And you know what we always say here on the podcast? It's Morbid time.